Hey guys, it's Pichu. I'm doing another Magic deck review. This one, so long story short, I'm it's called, called Woodland Creatures. I'm basically rebuilding my very first deck I ever built, which was a mono green standard deck as a commander. So, yeah, standard can have 40 to 60 card deck. You can have 4 of any card in your deck. Whereas Commander, you can only have 1 of each card unless the card says otherwise, and you have 99 in the deck and a Commander. I had no legendaries at the time. Okay, we got Toski, Bearer of Secrets as our Commander. 1/1, Legendary Creature Squirrel. Commanders have to be a legendary creature. And all cards have to you have to match their colors, so I can only play green cards and colorless cards. Costs 3 and green. 1/1, he can't be countered. He's indestructible. Attacks each combat if able. Whenever a creature you control does combat damage to a player, draw a card. Obviously, he's a new addition. Acid Web Spider was in the deck. 3/5 with reach. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target equipment. You may. Acidic Slime was in there. Death Touch. Any amount of damage it's dealt, so a creature kills it. When it enters, you can destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. Ambush Viper was in there too. He's a 2/1 for 2 flash. You can play him as an instant, so I can play him on someone else's turn. Say someone's attacking me, I can play him. Block and Death Touch again. Arbitorium Elemental. He looks like a big cat. Convoke. I know he's high cost. I didn't really like high cost cards, but he was an exception. Convoke. Yeah. Creatures. Yeah. So, say I have Ambush Viper on the field, I could tap Ambush Viper. And it could count for as either 1 generic, which is the part of the 7, or green in his cost. And hexproof, he can't be targeted by stuff my opponent controls. Birds of Paradise, he's new. He's just a 0/1 flyer with tap out of mana. Blight Mamba was in there. I can pay 1 in green, regenerate him, which means if he's gonna die, I can pay that and bring him back. He also has Infect, which I did not play it for the Infect reason. I played it because, 1, it's a snake. It was a cool card. It was a cheap card, mana-wise and cash-wise. At this point, the most expensive card I'd ever bought was $15. And that was a World Spine Worm, which we'll get to him later. But, Infect, I mainly did it for the -1/-1 counters, the Wither part of it. Yeah, it puts -1/-1 counters on stuff. So if Blight Mamba attacked and someone blocked with Toski, even though he says indestructible, he would get a -1/-1 counter. And since his toughness would go to 0, he would still die. And then the toxic part of it, Infect, gives a poison counter to a player, and 10 poison counters you lose. Bond Beetle was in there. He's just a 0/1 that puts a 1/1 counter on something. Bone Horde was in there. It's a 4-drop artifact equipment. You can pay 2 to equip it to something. Equip creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. It has a living weapon, which I thought was cool. So when it enters, you make a 0/0 black germ creature token, and then you attach this to it. And as long as there's at least 1 creature in a graveyard, say there's 1 creature in the graveyard, the germ will be a 1/1. Boneyard Worm, he's in there. He's a star. His power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. Campy Spider, he just has a reach, which means he can block something that has flying. Castle Garenberg, it's a new card I added. It's a land. It enters the battlefield. It's tap unless you control a forest. I can tap it for a green, or I can pay 2 and 2 green, tap, add 6 green, but I can only use it for creature spells or creature abilities. Cobbled Wings I had in there. It's a 2-cost artifact equipment. Pay 1 to equip it to a creature. Equip creature as flying. That's actually how I won one of my very first games. I gave Ambush Viper flying. My opponent couldn't block it, so I just kept hitting them. Crim the Crop's new enchantment. Whenever your creature you control enters, you may look at the top X of your library, where X is that creature's power. If you do, put one of those cards on the top of your library and the rest on the bottom of your library. So your library is your deck. Crushing Vines, that's also new. It's an instant, which means I can play it on someone else's turn if I want to. Choose one, destroy target creature with flying or a target artifact. That'd be perfect. Darksteel Ingot, I had this in my original deck. 3-drop artifact. It's indestructible. Tap, add a mana of any color. Deadly Recluse. He's a spider with reach and death touch. Almost every spider has reach. Deathly Cobra. 2/2 for 2. I can pay 2, he gains reach, or death touch until end of turn. Or I could pay 4 and he gets both. Dusty Worm, 7/7 with trample. Which, okay, so say someone blocks Dusty Worm with a 2/2. 5 damage will still hit them. That's what trample is. Had eaten by spiders. It's an instant. Destroy target creature with flying and all equipment attached to it. Engulfing Slagworm, big 7/7. Whenever he blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, destroy that creature. So kind of like Death Touch. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So say he blocks Dusty Worm, I'll gain 7 life. Also, I like its flavor text, which is this down here. It's just for fun. Its teeth exist only for decoration. Feral Hydra he's a Hydra Beast. As you see, he's a 0/0. He has X in green. I can pay X. X can be anything except for 0. Well, X can be 0, but you'd be a 0/0, so you'd die instantly. His flavor text is cool. It sheds its prey as each head fights for the choicest bits. Feral Hydra comes into play with X/1/1 counters. So let's say the biggest that had him originally was like, he was a 16/16, so I put 16 and a green to do that. Then I can pay 3 and put a 1/1 counter on him. Anybody can play that. I don't know why someone else would, but yeah. Feral Prowler's a new edition. It's a 1/3 for 2. Whenever it dies, I draw a card. Fist of Ironwood was in there. 2-drop enchantment aura. It enchants to a creature, so it kind of equips. Creature is trample, and when this card enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 green sapling tokens. So saplings are just, they're basically saplings. Yeah, they're sapling creatures. Fog, one of the best cards in the game. Flavor text is great. I fear no army or beast, but only the morning fog. Our assault can survive anything else. Everything else. It's a 1-drop, prevent all combat damage this turn. Forest, just basic land, taps for green. Fountain of Vicar, 3-drop artifact, tap, add a mana of any color. I can pay 3, it becomes a 3/3 dinosaur artifact creature until end of turn. Giant Growth, instant, 1-drop. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Someone is going to have a very bad day. That's so stupid. Giant Spider, he's just a 2/4 with reach. Havenwood Battleground. This is a new edition. It's a land. Enters tapped. Tap, add a green. Or tap and sacrifice it, add 2 green. Ironshell Beetle was in there. He's a 2-drop 1/1. Then I can put a 1/1 counter on something, making it slightly bigger. Please don't feed the beetles. Promenade warning sign. That's funny. Jungle Basin. That's a new addition. Enters tapped. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you return an untapped forest you control to its owner's hand. And then I can tap, add 1 and a green. Juvenile Gloom Widow. He's just a 1/3 with Wither. 2. Wither. There's Wither again. Yeah. So Infect was split into 2 later. Toxic, which is the poison counters, and Wither, which is the -1/-1. I prefer Wither. That's the only reason I played that card. The cards with Infect, but yeah. Has Wither. Kessig Recluse. He's just a reach death touch. like its flavor text. Its silk is highly prized, but then again, so is your life. Colony Garden, that's a new addition. Enters tapped, taps for a green. When it enters the battlefield, I get a 0/1 plant token. Kodama's Reach, great card. It's a arcane sorcery for 3. You search your deck for 2 basic lands, reveal them. One comes in the battlefield tapped, and the other goes in your hand, then you shuffle. This is probably the newest card I've added. Like, newest as in, like, came out the most recent. Kona, Rescue Beastie. He's also an alternate commander because he's a legendary creature that's green. 4-drop, 4/3. He's kind of like a dog, but he's also has, like, human arms and stuff. He's weird. Survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, so it goes untap, you untap all your lands and cards. Upkeep, you do whatever's during upkeep. You draw. The main phase, combat, main phase 2, end. So during second main phase, if he's tapped, I can play a card, a permanent, so anything that's not an instant or sorcery, from my hand onto the battlefield for free. Oh, it's a she. Okay, she's got a hard card. Crossing Grip, great card. Destroy our target artifact or enchantment. Split second. As long as this spell is on the stack, which that's kind of how stuff interacts. Players can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. So yeah, say you use a counter spell. I play Crosning Grip. Nothing else can be activated unless it's like a mana ability or another split second card. Lumberknot, one of my favorite cards. He's a 1/1 tree folk for 4 with hexproof. He can't be targeted by spells or abilities my opponent's control. Whenever another creature dies, he gets +1/+1. And I'll always pair him with Nightshade Peddler. Human Druid. He's a 1/1 for 2. Oh. Deadgummit untap. Okay, as I was saying, he has Soul Bond. I may pair him with another creature, with an unpaired creature, whenever either him or another creature enters. They remain paired as long as I control both of them. As long as he is paired with another creature, both creatures have Death Touch. So if my little 1/1 would have Death Touch, he would have Death Touch. And if they tried to kill the tree would just get bigger. Okay. Also have Marshmallow. He's just a 1/1 for 1 with Swamp Walk. So if someone has a swamp, he can attack and can't be blocked. Might of Oaks, instant, gives a creature +7/+7 until end of turn. Guess where I'm going to plant this? I don't know. Myraboa, 2/1 for 2 with Swamp Walk, and I can regenerate him. Horn Rift the Basswood, that's a new addition. It's a land. It just tap it for a green. Or I can put a 1/1 counter on each green creature that entered the battlefield this turn. Pouncing Worm, he was in the deck. 3/3 for 4, or I can pay 5 and 2 green total, because kicker, it's an additional cost. If it was paid, He enters with 3 1/1 counters on it and has haste, so he becomes a 6/6 and can attack the turn he's played. Because if a card doesn't have haste, it can't attack the turn it's played. Predator Ooze, 3 cost, 1/1, that's indestructible. Whenever he attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. Whenever creature's dealt damage by him, and it dies, put a 1/1 counter on him. He just keeps getting bigger and bigger. He's stupid to deal with. And he was in there. Rampant Growth was in there. Search for a basic land. Put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Reclaiming Vines, that's a new addition. It's a sorcery. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. Regeneration. I had this version. I like this version more than the other one. I also had the other version where it's like a dude's head. His head and neck are growing back, but they're like growing back with like flowers and stuff. I just regenerate a target. I just regenerate a creature. River Boa. It has Island Walk. Same thing as Swamp Walk, but for islands. It has Regenerate. I like its flavor text. Sheath your swords, cudgels only. I see a new pair of waterproof trek boots slithering away. Sentinel Spider. Vigilance and Reach. Okay, so when it attacks, it doesn't tap, because you have to tap and attack, so this doesn't tap. Your first reaction may be to stand very still and hope she didn't see you. Trust me, she did. I like that flavor text too. Serpent's Gift. Yeah. Target creature gains Death Touch until end of turn. That was in there. Siege Worm was in there. Convoke Trample. 5/5. Suddenly all the haggling didn't seem so important. Silklash Spider was in there. And yes, that is a wyvern. There's a full-on wyvern in its web. By the time the spider comes to slurp up its dinner, its victims have been partially dissolved by acidic silk. It has reach, and I can pay X and 2 green. It does damage to each creature with flying. Slippery Karst, new edition. It's a land. Just tap for a green. Or cycling 2. I pay 2 generic, discard this card, draw a card. Snake Basket was in here. That was in there. It's a 4-drop artifact. So it just sits on the field. And then I can pay X and sacrifice it. Put X Cobra tokens into play. Treat the tokens are 1/1 green snakes. And I can only play it on my turn. I like the flavor text. Does anyone have a flute? The market full. Snake Umbra. Umbras are cool because they have totem armor. It equips to a creature and enchants it. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. And if the creature would be destroyed, it takes no damage and this card's destroyed instead. Soul Ring, one of the best cards in the game. 1-drop for 2 colorless. That's one of my favorite artworks. The Blue and Burrow one. Plus, I thought it fit. It was a woodland creature. Spider Umbra, another Umbra. Change creature gets +1/+1 and has reach. Spore Frog, also known as Fog Frog. Stupid Fog Frog. Yeah, I used to say that because one of my friends, Terry, would always play this stupid thing. It's a 1-drop 1/1 frog. You can sacrifice him at any point to prevent all combat damage that be dealt this turn. Yeah, he's fog on legs. Terrifying Presence, prevent all combat damage that be dealt by creatures other than target creature this turn. Yeah. Good card too. That was in there. Titanic Growth. That was in there. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Tranquil Thicket, that's a new addition. Enters taps for a green, and has cycling, pay a green, discard, draw a card. Trapper Kami, it was in there. It's a 0-star for 1 with Defender, which means it can't attack. It's a spirit, because Kamis are like spirits. Its toughness is equal to the number of force in play, and it can block as though it had flying, so it basically has reach. Triumphal Hordes, that's a new card. Sorcery until end of turn. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample and infect. Twin Silk Spider. It's a 1/2 spider with reach, and when he enters, I get a 1/2 green creature, green spider token with reach. So he basically makes a clone of himself. And then my favorite creature. This is my favorite creature of all. I've always loved this card. Always thought this card was cool. Always wanted this card when I was younger. Still want this card. And thankfully now he's only $10. Now he's only like $10. But back when I wanted him, he was like $30-$40. There's another version of him that is like $50-$60, and then another version that's like $5. No, the $5 version is crap. The $5 version, well, the $5 version is crap. $5 version is not great. Legendary creature Praetor. Praetor is a like title, but if we were to say a creature, he's like an abomination kind of monstrous thing. But yeah, he's a 7/6 trample. When you tap a land for mana, add 1 to your mana pool of any type. So my forest, it'll give me 2 mana. Opponent taps a land for mana, they don't untap it during the next untap step. So if you were to tap a mana on your turn, your next turn it doesn't untap. He's also technically an alternate commander because he's a legendary creature. Wait, let's see all the alternate commanders. Okay, we got Toski as the commander. We got let's see. Kona as a commander option. Let's see. Sorry. Borderplex as a potential commander. Okay. And then got the other cards. Wall of Mulch. It's a wall. Walls can't attack. Obviously, because a wall can't attack. It's a 0/4 with Defender. Can't attack. Can pay a green, sacrifice it, draw a card. This was in the deck, that exact art. Wall of Roots was in there. It is a 0/5 command, or 0/5 plant wall with Defender. Put a -1, -0, -1 counter on Wall of Roots. Add a green to your mana pool. Activate only once per turn. Wasteland Viper. He's a 1/2 for 1 with Death Touch and Blood Rush. I can pay a green to discard him. Target attacking creature is +1/+2 and gains Death Touch. So basically give him the power and toughness. This card right here, Young Wolf, is the very first card I ever bought. I was used to playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So I didn't know you could have 4 of a card in Magic. I thought you could only have up to 3. Because in Yu-Gi-Oh! You could only have 3 of a card with the same name. Magic and Pokemon, you can have 4. Unless it's like a basic energy in Pokemon or a card that says otherwise. Also, what is it? Yeah, Wizards of the Coast, the people that do Magic, or made Magic, started the Pokemon card game. But yeah, Young Wolf, he's a 1/1 for 1 wolf. Very first card I ever got. Still have all 3 of them. He has Undying. So when he dies, if he didn't have a 1/1 counter on him, he comes back with a 1/1 counter on him. So he dies, comes back as a 2/2. This deck's about $60. Which is extremely cheap, especially for Commander deck. But this deck is terrible. Because it was just made for fun. Even with some of the updated cards, it's still awful. And then boss creature of the deck, although Feral Hydra could get technically bigger. And Voraclex is kind of stupid. This card's the boss. World Spawn Worm. He's a 15/15 worm for 8 and 3 green with trample. And when he dies, I make 3 5/5 green worm creature tokens with trample. So when he dies, he splits into 3, pretty much. Yeah, when he dies, he splits into 3 tokens. And when he would be put in a grave, when he would even be put in a graveyard from anywhere, whether I mill him, someone makes me discard him, I somehow get him out of exile and put him there, or he dies, he goes into the deck and is shuffled there instead. But yeah, this is the Woodland Creatures deck. Hope you guys enjoyed. That was a fun little video to do. I guess little video is crazy because it's almost 30 minutes long. But hope you guys enjoyed. My arm is kind of tired from holding the phone the whole time. But I'm gonna be honest, I prefer making phone videos. It's just more fun. I can move the phone more instead of having to mess with the webcam. And I'm more likely to upload it because, oh hey, I see it on my phone. I'm on my phone all the time. Or, oh hey, my phone has too much storage on it or whatever. Oh, okay, let me fix that real quick. Let me fix that real quick by uploading a video. I'm still going to upload all the videos on my computer. I just have to go back and watch some of them because I don't remember what order some of them are in. And there's also a couple of videos on the computer I need to figure out how to like censor stuff because my friend said some words and we were drawing picture. We were playing like Scribblio or whatever, and they drew a couple inappropriate things. So I need to find a way to blur that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next video. Here's Slowpoke on a croissant. Peace.